Today we're talking about 5 avoidable mistakes in medical device development. Device developers do have a slew of hurdles that they have to navigate in order to successfully bring their device to market. So basically, we're going to cover these 5 areas for you, and it'll help you plan out your path, which is the first one. You haven't mapped out your regulatory path. So if you're not aware of the FDA that will classify your device or which path that you need to take for your product, you may waste a lot of time going the wrong direction. So the very first step should be mapping out your regulatory path, not just the path of what you think is going to work, what people want. That's important too. That should be done even before this step. But the regulatory path is very important. Each device has its own requirements. There's multiple paths. It could be 510K, PMA, NDA, and others. You can lose precious time and money if you assume incorrectly. So our advice is to start with that. After you have your concept ready, find out the path, see what changes need to be made to your concept, and that'll get you in the right direction. You also don't have a clear reimbursement strategy. So it's really important to the success of your product development effort to make sure that you have a reimbursement strategy. If your venture capitalist can't clearly see the procedures performed with your device that are going to be covered by insurers, or you don't have data that shows consumers that they're willing to purchase out of the pocket, fundraising is going to be challenging. There needs to be some way you're going to get reimbursed, especially if it's insurance related, or who is going to be paying for it, to make sure that that's clear. You want to make sure that your product's covered by Medicare and other payers, and that way you can understand what's entailed. And before you go too far, it might be just a few little tweaks, and you'll be able to be compliant with their rules, and then now you can get reimbursed. Another next step, number 3, is that you don't have the freedom to operate with your intellectual property. To protect your interest and get your product to market, it's important to search existing and pending patents to make sure you have the freedom to operate. So the patent law is very complex. You'll want to get the opinion of an attorney. You can do your own searches in the meantime, see if anything is out that it's exactly the same. Even if yours is very similar, changes can be made that you can still have your freedom to operate without infringing on their patent rights. So that is a very important step to make sure you have the freedom to operate. You haven't confirmed the feasibility of the product. That's amazing. I've seen so many times that companies say, hey, this is a great idea. We've been talking about this with me and my team, and we just think that everybody's going to really like this. So one of my first questions is, have you asked anybody else? Have you asked the people that are actually going to be using it? Well, no, we just think it's a great idea. Well, then you're only halfway there. It might be an awesome idea in your mind, but if the consumer or whoever's going to be mainly using the product doesn't see the advantage, then it's really not a great idea, because that's where your focus needs to be after you have your concept, to let people know what's available, see what they like about it, and make sure it's going to be something that they're going to want to use. You haven't clearly outlined your development milestones. So during the development process, there's different milestones that need to be achieved along the way. Normally it's something along the lines of discovery, research, wireframes, a test build, revisions, training on the admin, and then your final launch. So those need to be lined out before you start going down the path of any kind of development. Even if you're redeveloping, you want to go ahead and put it in there as a different type of test development. Anytime we're doing apps, we go ahead and line out the milestones. Once it's published and there's additions, we leave that one published. Then we start with the test app again, line out new milestones for that next version, and that way nothing is missed, and we can make sure it's a fully developed and efficient product. So at Bluestone Apps, we develop apps for the medical industry, and from connecting medical devices to a phone, integrating with EMR systems, and a lot of other features. Love to hear from you if you're interested, or if you have any questions, just feel free to let me know, and I'll be glad to answer them for you. Have a great day. It's Kevin, Bluestone Apps.